10.
We do apologise for the technical issue. We are back with you now. We're going to head straight back into the arena where Barry Hawkins and Kyron Wilson are currently playing on table 1. We're in the company of John Virgo and Alan McManus. Gentlemen, what have we missed?
Yeah, thank you, Seema. Sorry to the viewers about missing just the first half of this frame, but there was one key to it just a couple of minutes ago where Kyron Wilson played a little speculative shot to nothing. We'll show it here. The middle bump of the middle pocket's always in the shot. He catches it thick, and that's given Barry Hawkins this decent opportunity as he misses that red. So it's been a little scrappy
16
so far, but still early.
Yeah, and he missed that red because he overrun his position. He's just struggling at the moment, Barry, to get the pace of the table. Packed this Sunday morning, 10 o'clock start. Caught that a bit thick, that's why the red has come down to the balk end. He needs the brown as a cover. He's not got it.
One.
Yeah, no position unfortunately, but
Barry Hawkins 1.
now that red by the right side cushion may cause Kyron a problem in trying to drop on these two reds. There's almost, at first glance here, there's no path to get at them.
Yeah, that's what Alan's referring to. If that red wasn't there, then that would be the shot he'd play. But to get around the back of that red will be asking something. I mean, you could think, well, one cushion, two cushions maybe, and just nestle on that red, but you're not guaranteed to get it safe. There's a red to the left of the blue that would be available. Spot of bother here. This is not straightforward.
I think regardless of what shot he plays, he's going to have to rely on a wee bit of good fortune. That red in the open, he's trying to somehow land on that. If he misses it, maybe catch the other two. Well, he's left a couple of reds here. Just depends how difficult. Oh, no, he won't be putting this
Barry
back.
Hawkins 4.
He was in no end of strife.
Well, what an opportunity now. This is for Barry. You play for the blue, you would have thought.
1.
Getting the blue back up on its spot. The red just to the right of the black is available. If he finishes straight on that, he can get the black on its spot. And all the reds he requires, you feel, to win the frame at this visit in the open. What a chance.
Yeah, that red actually by the black's not a big issue actually, because the blue was on the black spot. So when he pots the black here,
6.
that red will still be on. I mentioned earlier in the frame, Kyron, his cue ball
7.
controls not maybe the level some of the other top players. This is where Barry Hawkins really excels. You see, nice and straight in the red. Pick his spot. 26, the lead then.
14.
Another 25 points required, which means we're going to need 4 of these remaining reds. They're in the open.
50.
Can't see a problem.
22. $23.
Just let that cue ball run through an inch more than he wanted to. Can he hold for the red to the middle? It's a delicate little shot. Should have been straighter on the pink. No, he had to play for the red to the corner pocket, which was not the plan. So there you see it.
29.
Still looking for red cover red. This red could have been easier.
Yeah.
30.
Lost the cue ball again.
But that's the thing, Norman, isn't it? When the pot's difficult, you give it that extra bit of concentration, and that's when you run out of position.
Yeah, you start chasing the cue ball once you lose it once. Difficult playing catch up. Now, green being off the spot helps him spinning round. Oh, what a shot this is. He may not be perfectly on the red. He'd be on it in a fashion. What a superb effort.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Now, the key thing, is this
36.
red tight to the cushion? If it is, I fancy him knocking it in. If it's just off the cushion, it's missable. Is it tight? Yeah, you wouldn't fancy him missing this. Well, he's thinking about refusing it. It's frame ball. I couldn't refuse this, Alan, could you?
Yeah, it's one of those that if he takes it on and commits to it, there's a good chance of leaving it. If he plays it firm and white and bulk, there's a good chance of missing it, quite frankly. I can understand him not playing it. He probably did try to just
36.
nestle the green onto the bulk cushion there, so that was quite clever.
Well, we'll see. But that was a tremendous opportunity to take the first frame. It's still alive. There you see it. 48 behind, 51 remaining. I suppose what may have also crossed Barry's mind that Kyren has not got a lot of points to play with here. Needs high value colours off these three remaining reds.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful shot.
One.
John mentioned not a lot of points to play with. 2 pinks and a black is good. This is the key shot now. Can he get anywhere straightish on this red by the black? Big, big shot. I'd go as far as to say if he gets nice on this red, he may just have a new favourite. Nope. There was pressure on
Kyren
that.
Wilson. 1.
Well, that's a bonus for Barry Hawkins. Didn't see that coming, just decelerated on it. And snookers are required now, even before this red. And
1.
that just dots the I's and crosses the T's in this first frame.
Six.
Well, I don't think Kyren will be
Hawkins, 6.
getting back out of
And the
his
first
seat,
frame.
and he doesn't. He signals to referee Brendan Moore that that's enough, and it's Barry Hawkins who takes the first frame. 1-0.
Well, Barry Hawkins indeed takes the first frame. I think it's fair to say, watching that back, it was a little bit scrappy.
It was a little bit scrappy, a little bit cagey, but that's what you're going to get from these players because they don't give you an inch, you know. They're so good in the match play department. They score a very high percentage of good safeties, long potting, break building, but it's going to be hard to find an opening from either player. But there was one opening there for Kyren Wilson. He potted a wonderful red, and he's on this pink, and he's trying to get on the red just to the right of the black. And he'd be very disappointed with this because that was a wonderful opportunity to try and steal the frame, and it would have been a good start for him. But yeah, it'll take a little bit of while, but I think it's going to be a fascinating match, this.
I think so too. And 9 times out of 10, Kyren would have potted that pink. Do you think it's just a case of warming up a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's the first frame, you know. But it was a wonderful chance. I wouldn't say it was a sitter, but you'd expect him to pot it, and he'd be disappointed he didn't. And relief for Barry Hawkins in the other chair, because he was 48 ahead, 51 up. He could have taken on the red down the back cushion, but it was a little bit difficult. But yeah, a cagey start.
Well, one thing I will say is Kyren Wilson has put in so much work behind the scenes, because every single morning we've been here, he's been at the practice table. So he means business.
Oh, he means business. It's well known that he's a good practicer, but all these lads are. You know, you see the 2 lads in here this morning, they're practicing. This is the big championship. You know, you have to come. You're already prepared. Most of your practice is done, but they just come here to loosen up. But all these guys work hard. You don't get to the top of any game if you don't work hard.
You certainly don't. Well, back we go into frame 2.
Yes, frame 2 underway. Break off from Kyren. Not the absolute ideal start for Barry Hawkins, but he just was let off the hook. And that a decent chance for Kyren, as Ken says, just to pinch the frame at the end. And there's a typical safety shot from Barry Hawkins. Plays the cue ball on the correct half of the table to give his opponent a problem. Coming around to see what he would be leaving and taking this red on. The only good thing about it, it's a natural to get on the low black. Now, perhaps he can't get through it, can he? Well, he took it on. Wide of the mark again. No double kiss on. Just try and get the cue ball as close as he can to the baulk cushion. Yeah, pretty good. Giving a little tester here for Kyren. He can only get the wing ball, the extreme wing ball.
Foul. And a miss. Barry Hawkins 4. Back.
Interesting there. Barry was looking at a little plant, the one, but yeah, Kyren's now having a look at it. It obviously is on. There it is. Just set to the right half of the pocket, but there's about maybe a centimetre between the reds, so it can be manipulated.
Colin, just bring it up. Okay, you just bring it up.
Yeah, it's quite important this to get this. He can see the red full ball, I think. So that makes a difference.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
That'll be in Kyren's mind as well, isn't it? The difficulty here is he's obviously trying to catch the red thin, but if he gets it super thin, there's an outside chance of leaving that plant. He'd love to be able to nestle the red into that plant. Well, he's changed his shot and he's left one. Yeah, he was in trouble.
Yeah, you get the feeling he was put under a little bit of pressure there by the miss rule. Didn't want to risk missing the thin one again. Only the full ball cannon there and has misjudged it. It's unlike Barry, he's usually very solid when he's in this type of position. He won't be looking forward to this black now. Tight under the cushion. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. And particularly when he was disappointed to be there. You got to put it out of your mind.
8.
Played it well.
Yeah, did he ever? What a
9.
shot that was. One of those shots that validates all those hours of practice you put in prep for this.
Now, is he straight enough on this red where he can run through
60.
for the black? It's questionable. If not, the pink's available to the middle, as you can see. He's playing with top. He thinks he can brush off the second red.
70.
Just a little bit trickier now. Don't expect him to miss it, but he's trying to brush off that red, caught it quarter ball.
Yeah, I thought that was clever, actually. I think he deliberately pushed it on to have the 3 in the line. That was a brilliant piece of thinking.
I think the thing that always
24.
impresses me about Barry he doesn't look anxious, does he? You get players, you know, they get in and they probably play a little bit too quick, but he keeps that nice pace around the table. And he's one of those players you can never fancy missing an easy ball. Listen, we all do, they all do, but with Barry, you just don't see
25.
it coming.
Yeah, the watchword is consistency. In the armoury. Barry Hawkins. Eat, sleep, snooker, repeat. That's the way he goes about it. So solid. Technically as good as there
32.
is. I always talk about his backswing, Barry Hawkins. When he's in here scoring, he retains a nice long backswing and almost never decelerates through the impact.
33.
Five reds, 5 blacks.
40. 41. 48.
So looking to leave a nice angle. He's got a couple of reds on the right-hand side of the table, will be available in the opposite corner of which you'll pot the black. And a couple more reds, a couple more blacks. He will have eyes on a maximum.
$49.
Just wants to get high now. Choice of 2 reds. See, trying to punch through it to get high. Okay, cue ball a wee bit close to the cushion for comfort, so a bit of pressure in this.
56.
This has to be cued smoothly. But as John says, through impact, he's always very calm. See here, doesn't overhit. Nice and smooth. And
57.
getting that red, I do think that plant below the pink is still on to right corner, so that might come into play. Could be an out for him.
Yeah, those two reds below the pink, and invariably if they're a plant for the corner, there can be a plant for the middle. Eight reds, eight blacks. Just gone slightly right from the point of view of potting a red and playing for the black.
64.
Now this will tell us whether he's got maximum in mind. He has. If he was just thinking about winning the frame, he could play a red to the left middle, play for a baulk colour. He's playing for the black. £50,000 and the high break prize of 10,000, so 60,000 for a maximum. Red and a black, of course, would make the frame safe. Can he get on the black? He can. He's played it well. He's played it very well.
65.
So this black to go 76 points in front with 75 remaining. That's the frame safe, and maybe the bottom red is just about on it.
72.
Won't be playing for anything but blacks now, you can bet your life.
73.
Yeah, down the years since that famous Cliff Thorburn maximum on this very table in 1983, there's been 10 Crucible maximums. The last two actually have been made by our friend and colleague, Mr. Henry.
80.
There hasn't been one at the Crucible since 2012.
81.
Those two reds just below the pink are now available. I'm not certain he can play for them this time, so he just needs to be careful here. He's played it nicely. He can get in between the gap of pink and red for a straight red to the corner.
88. '89.
Lovely. Played it lovely.
96. '97.
Purposely played the one that was closest to the pink. You just give him a bit more room for the one below the pink. Just holding yourself together now. Well, the century, but bigger fish to fry. Turn up. Let's hope it gets bigger than that.
104. '105.
Just lost the cue ball slightly, but, well, just got to judge the pace when he's playing for this last red. What a moment for Barry Hawkins, because to make a maximum at the Crucible Theatre in the World Championship, that's one thing that every player would like on his CV. Oh, well, would you believe it?
Barry Hawkins.
I really don't understand why he stunned it there. I thought he might have rolled it in. It was a great effort, gets the frame one, but he'll be disappointed. What a chance of a maximum he's let go there. But he wins the frame, and he's 2-0 in front.
Thank you.
Oh, we were literally on the edge of our seats, weren't we, Ken? He nearly did it. Nearly did it.
How can you miss a black? How can you miss a black on a 147?
Oh, yeah, it's easy, isn't it? But he did so well to take it that far.
A fantastic break. He's absolutely gutted because, you know, he did all the hard work and it was perfect for him. And it was a wonderful break up to then. And he sort of, instead of playing it off the cushion, which I thought he was going to play off the side cushion and try and come onto the red just to the right of the pink, he sort of tried to soft screw it, which meant he got into the cue ball too much, and that's why he missed it on the far side. But wonderful break, and it would have been... Well, we've had so many stories during this World Championship, right? That would have really topped it up. And for me, saying it's going to be a really cagey start to this match, it shows you how much I know. But a wonderful break, and a shame he didn't make it.
Yeah, his first century break of the tournament, with a break of 1.05 for Barry. What does that tell us about his frame of mind? Because to get to that stage, he must be full of confidence. Well,
full of confidence, but also let's hope it doesn't affect him that he didn't make the 147, because sometimes there's a little bit of an aftershock. So it'll be interesting to see, because he knows how much of a great chance that was. And, of course, there's an extra 50,000 for a maximum at this tournament as well as the 10,000 for the high break. So 60,000 there, possibly, for Barry Hawkins. But as long as he puts it out of his mind, it's just one frame. There you see, he's still thinking about it, but he's got to put it out of his mind and get on. He's much bigger fish to fry.
OK, well, let's head back into the arena, into frame 3.
Yeah, still thinking about it there, and who can blame him? The Hawk, but I think within a few shots he'll put it to bed and get on with business. Now, Kyron, butt in the air, he's having a pop at this red. Boy, this is difficult. That is... Wow. He's caught the blue. Does the red pass? It looks like it does. That was a bit wild, wasn't it? He definitely hasn't settled. OK, pretty much didn't take part in that last frame. But quite concerning early signs for Kai.
Yeah, a few long shots, seems to have overhit. They always look as though they've been overhit, of course, when they don't go in the pocket running around the table. I'm very interested now, though, Alan, to see how or what Barry makes of this opportunity. Could be a hangover from that missed maximum opportunity. But he's a very experienced campaigner, so I'd be surprised if he did. Well, that tells us straight away. He's played that absolutely beautifully, that positional shot. And this is it. As Ken said in the studio, he was just trying to hold for without using a cushion. And he just got into the cue ball a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's easy sitting here, isn't it? You think just roll it on and off the cushion. He'd have been worried about slipping behind the blue. Snooker himself, it's gone now. This will take a nice piece of cueing. Just has to hold this cue ball for pink. Oh, deep screw, that is...
5.
That is just perfection cueing.
Yeah, he couldn't hold for the pink without using the cushion, but you see the reaction he got. Cued that beautifully, so didn't appear to be any hangover from the last frame. He's found a gap there he didn't expect, but he's okay.
$11.
And it's one of these situations where he can concentrate, he's got a few loose reds, but eventually when he has to go into the cluster, he may do it in potting another red because he knows the blue is going to be over the far corner. Should he run out of position on pink or black, just leave that there as a little bit of insurance.
90.
Things are running smooth for him at the moment, and he still looks in good stroke.
20.
Yes, everything in full bloom this morning for the man from Kent, the Garden of England. about his record here. How's this for a list of players he's beaten in the last 6 years? Jack Lazowski, Selby, Mark Allen,
27.
Robbo, Ronnie, Doughty, Stephen Maguire, and Ding twice.
Yeah, preferring to play this.
28.
To force the cue ball over, but nicely on. Now he'll be having thoughts about how to get other reds into play. May decide to leave himself low on this red here, purposely. And he has. And as I say, he knows that by potting this cannon into
35.
the cluster, even if he doesn't punch the pink out or get on the black, he'll always have the blue to that far corner pocket.
$36.
Tricky little shot, this. I think it's one of those shots, that'll sound strange, almost play for the bulk colours. You know, try and get through the little gap of green and brown, something like that. Oh, he's played this lovely.
I was supposed to be a little bit disappointed when he potted the red and
41.
went into the cluster. He didn't knock many out, really, which was a surprise. But as you say, that's an excellent positional shot. Needs one now on the black.
$42.
There you see it. Just another 26 points needed. That's 4 reds. Well, he didn't have the best of angles on the black.
49.
Spotted this red to the left middle. You've got to be very accurate with these, but in potting this, I think he'll release a red to the left corner. This is an important shot. Played it well.
50.
Solid stuff, this.
Look at that for control. He's landed that cue ball on a waistcoat button. That was perfect.
57.
It's almost one of those. There was only one place he could pot this red from, and he found it.
58.
My goodness. What a shot.
Well, any thoughts of a hangover from the last frame have been put to bed. A little bit straight, he could have screwed on and off the cushion for a red in the same pocket. Doesn't want to really risk a cannon, but you've got to play whatever shot you feel will get you on the next red. He's only looking for one more red in the colour after this black. That's okay. I think the red just below the pink will go to the middle.
65.
Have to take a little bit of a risk, but he's on it nicely.
$66.
And just the black needed. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility. We're going to see back-to-back centuries. We've had 50 so far as he gets the applause for
73.
potting the black, because Kyron Wilson now needs snookers.
$74.
Yeah, that century in the last was his first century, and we know about that because the sponsors at the start of the tournament were giving 12 to 1 for a century to be made in every match, and that was the only first round match where there wasn't a century. They know. There's always one.
82.
But boy, is he looking good, Alan.
Yes, is he ever. Oh, that was a foul there. Unfortunate, but
6. Barry Hawkins, 82.
a smooth 82 from the Hawk, and both players leave the arena. Barry Hawkins in complete control this morning, and he leads 3-0.
Quietly as you can, please. Thank you.
Well, Barry Hawkins has got off to a flying start, hasn't he? Getting a break of 82 in that frame.
Yeah, fantastic. He looks to be cueing so nicely, so smooth, very composed. I mean, he's one of these players, he just loves this event for some reason. He seems to hold always his best play for playing at the Crucible. And he's a tough player to beat. And at the moment, he's got his claws in Kieran Wilson.
Are you surprised by what you've seen from Kieran, or is it just a case of Barry's just been too good so
Well,
far?
he's been so good. You know, he hasn't really had a chance. He had that first chance in the first round where he missed that pink. He could have stole the frame. But Barry Hawkins, you know, he's doing everything right. And one thing about Barry Hawkins is his positional play is so good. You know, he has that cue ball on a string. When he's playing at the top of his game, I mean, his cue ball is so good. And you can see from those breaks, you know, like almost the maximum and then another possible century there. Just fell. But, yeah, good start from Barry Hawkins. But I do think that, you know, once Kieran will get the chance, he will settle into the match and still a long way to go. But this is a massive frame for Kieran Wilson to get off the mark. Doesn't want to go into the interval 4-0 down. So he needs to get off the mark pretty soon.
Well, you mentioned that Barry seems to raise his game when he comes here. Does the Crucible suit some players? Is it just made for some players?
Well, some players can come here and find it very difficult to settle down. I mean, we saw a few of the debutants come here, of course, and some of them loved it, like James Cahill, and then some of the others were like rabbits in headlights, and that can have an effect on you here, but not for Barry Hawkins at all. I mean, he's a seasoned pro now, so but he always plays really, really well here, and that's why he's so tough to beat.
OK, well, back to the arena for the final frame before the mid-session interval.
Yeah, the Crucible in itself, I suppose, is a bit of a puzzle to figure out. It took Barry Hawkins a few years. He lost his first 5 matches here, would you believe? But those days are long gone. What a red! He's actually hit this too well. What? He had a little sort of shake of the head as the cue ball came back up, as if to say, "Boy, did I hit that well!" He almost surprised himself. It was that good. Watch him here. Whoa.
Now, does he play the brown to the middle? The red just above the black is available. Look at Kieran Wilson with 40% pot success, obviously. He's not had much chance. He's had a few long pots which have been way off, to be honest with you. And that's
Barry Hawkins.
Solid match play from Barry. I think a lot of people, I think Kieran would have played the brown to the middle there. But he's got him on the ropes, so don't give him any easy starters. Can't blame him for that.
Yeah, snooker sense come into play there. 3-0 in front. Your opponent on the ropes. Just keep him there in this frame before the intermission. Yeah, he can't rest on anything, or can he, is he? Playing the 2-cushion glance. Mistake again. and another decent chance.
Yeah, so that decision to roll it behind the brown was the right one. Every move he's making is turning out in his favour at the moment, Barry. I've always been a great believer if Barry was to win this frame and to go into the mid-session interval. You don't really settle till you get your first frame on the scoreboard. We all agree with that. But I also feel just human nature, if you get nothing, no reward for your efforts, it's debilitating.
Yeah, we spoke about Kyron, how hard he practices. And you do that, you prep for the match and the tournament, you think, right, I've got this right, I've got that right, I feel good when I'm in. You go out there, you start missing a couple of long balls and they were a bit wild. And then you see Barry going in and just being smooth, scoring heavily, taking the game away from you, and you're almost not taking part in it. So then you start wondering, what am I going to have to do to change this? So you're almost changing things when you don't want to. You want to stick to the method that you've been working on the last 3-4 weeks.
Meanwhile, just ran through 14. A little bit further than he needed to there. He's still got the red to the right middle, but I don't think this is the one he played for. Played for a red in the middle of the table. Just got to judge the pace now.
50.
And played it nicely. Didn't want to drop it in off one cushion like when he played the maximum. He likes to get the cue through the ball.
Yeah. Nice and firm, nice and punchy through it. Watch Barry Hawkins' approach to this next shot. I love the way he holds his cue. His cue's almost on the shot before he gets down.
22.
It just, everything feels really smooth. Look at this. Watch this. You know, the cue doesn't, there's no jerky movement or anything like that. It's just nice and smooth, everything. See, he's almost set for the shot before he gets down 23. On it. Let's see it again here. There it is. Nice and level. And then he goes.
So another 39 points required from this position. He could do it with 5 reds, 5 blacks, but whether he'll be taking all
29.
black, so he may need 6 of these reds, but there's nothing to worry about. There's no cannons to play. Reds are in the middle of the table. Great chance to take a 4-0 advantage to his dressing room, and he will be pleased, and why wouldn't he? This has been very good from Barry Hawkins.
36.
Something else he does, Barry, he's a beautiful finisher of a shot. He stays down for about a second or two. Watch this. Wait for the red, and up he goes when he's happy.
37.
Yeah, you can get a bit anxious at times and you come up looking for it. Barry doesn't do that. He commits through the shot and he stays down with it. See? Beautiful.
And it has to be said, he's got this cue ball on a string.
42.
And they always say the best breaks are when people are watching say, well, I could have potted that. Deciding not to play the straight red. Just going up. He's got a choice of blue or pink to play for. I think 43. He played that. He's just sort of clearing the way. The pink will go on its spot, so that's not a problem. Just got into that a little too much, but you wouldn't think it'd be a problem.
49.
3 reds, 3 colours still needed.
50.
Just the wrong side of straight on this black. Needs to slow up. It's okay. Once again, excellent
57.
positional shot. He's got the pace of the table now, for sure.
$58.
This black and just the one more red needed. And a little flicker side there. Okay, slightly hampered on the red. He was wanting to be on the one
65.
below the pink, but just get the rest. Nothing to do with this red, just roll it in. And, well, you'd be surprised if he didn't make another century. And Kyron sat in his seat. Missed that pink in the first frame, which, well, you never know what could have happened after that, but that's ifs. This is what's happening.
Yes, he has a lot to think about. In the 15-minute intermission, Kyron Wilson.
66.
This is where his brother Taylor and his coach Barry Stark are going to have to earn their corn. But I suppose if plan A doesn't work, there's plenty of other letters in the alphabet. But Barry Hawkins this morning has been metronomic the way he's went about his business.
73. $74.
Yeah, Kyron's still at 40% pot success. It's a bit cruel, isn't it, when they keep putting these stats.
81.
He's hardly had a shot to go at in the last 3 frames.
82.
Another inch perfect positional shot. Just missed out on the century in the last
89.
frame. Left
90.
this red near the middle pocket till last. And it's one of those, just get in behind it, just drop it in. It looks simple, but just got to give it due
96.
care and attention. Just play it dead weight, let gravity take over. Nicely done. And the colour to, well,
97.
immaculate. That's all you can describe it as. Wonderful stuff here from Barry Hawkins. The pink for the second century. Wonderful stuff. It really is. And they're loving it.
103.
And why wouldn't you?
$105.
And the thing is about Barry, he knows, just concentrate on every shot. Pot every ball you look at. Just builds your
108.
confidence more and more. Not that Kyron Wilson will think of coming back to the table, but Barry's sending out messages to him that, look at me, I'm not going to miss a ball.
112. $117.
Well, we did wonder when he missed the
23.
black, when he had a great chance of a maximum break, how it would affect him. Well, since then he's gone 82 in the last frame. And now this wonderful century of 130. Well, Kyron Wilson goes to his dressing room, a lot to think about. Barry Hawkins at the top of his game. He leads 4-0.
2 century breaks and a break of 82. Does it get much better than that?
Yeah, it's very good, isn't it? You know, and as I said, his positional play and the cue ball is on a string at the moment. But there was a great sort of example. We talk about, you know, how good he is at long ball as he knocks the long red here and also break building. But watch this. He puts this long red. Now, he gets a bit of a flyer off this top cushion. Cue ball ends up in ball. Now, after you've had like a break of 180 odd, you might say, oh, I fancy this brown, you know, but this is where the match play instincts come in. He doesn't go for the brown. He rolls up behind the brown. He keeps the pressure on his opponent because his opponent hasn't had much table time. So he rolls up to the brown in a few seconds. And what he does, what he's doing there, he's keeping pressure, he's keeping Corrin in his chair. Yeah. If he goes to the brown and misses it, he's going to leave Corrin right in amongst the balls. So what he does, he rolls up to the brown here. Corrin comes to the table. He tries to get out of snooker.
Hawkins.
He hits the red. And what he does, he leaves Barry right bang in amongst the balls. And that's really keeping sort of your foot on your opponent's throat, as it were, to use that analogy. And what he does, he goes on to make another break, keeps Corrin under pressure, keeps him in his chair, and that's great match play instincts.
Certainly so. And that match play instinct, does that come with experience? Is that something that you build over time?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And that's his experience of being here for many years and having so much success here. So, and sometimes that's what you have to do, you know. It's like any sport. When you have your opponent sort of in a hole, you don't want to let him out. You want to keep him in there as long as possible. But Corrin Wilson, maybe the interval is kind of a good time for him. He can come in here, maybe hit a few balls. His coach is over there. He's going to hit a few balls. Barry will talk to him and try and calm him down. Say, listen, there's a long way to go in this match.
Still early on,
yeah,
exactly.
An awful long way to go in this match. Don't panic. Come in, hit a few balls, get your arm going, get back in, have a cup of tea, relax, and it's a new session.
OK, well, meanwhile, on table 2, Ali Carter and Zhou Yulong have been battling it out. And Ali Carter is a face that we've seen here for many years. In fact, this is his 17th Crucible appearance. What most impresses me about that, though, is what he achieved in qualifying. Because, remember, you have to go through 3 best-of-19 frames. He only dropped 9 frames along the way.
Yeah, and he's not used to qualifying because he's been in the top 16 for quite a long time. But Ali Carter, as he said, he came through some tough matches there. You know, Paul Davison, Jimmy White, John Astley. And even when he played Jack Dazowski as well, he's had a fantastic season. He was the seed here, but played magnificently well in that match and beat him 10-6. So, tough opponent, Ali Carter. Got a great cue action, great long putter. And when he gets going, you know, he can score pretty heavily. He's been to a couple of finals here, had that wonderful maximum here as well. And had that little match with Ronnie O'Sullivan yesterday with the old shoulder charging and everything going on. So he had everything. So, but yeah, very experienced Ali Carter. And again, one of the players that loves playing in the Crucible.
He does. Well, Zhou Yulong is his opposition today. Let's learn a little bit more about Zhou. He's been catching up with Radzi.
My full name is Munyaradzi Chinyanganya. Yeah. Many people pronounce it wrong. How do we pronounce your name correctly?
My name is Zhou, Z-H-O-U, Yue. Yeah. Yue Long is Chinese, mean the Yue is a fly, like to fly, as a long like dragon, a fly dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yes, my father gave me my name, this name.
That's why your nickname is the Jumping Dragon? Because of the name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, my name, yeah, jumping, yeah.
And you're 21 years old now.
Yes.
You came to the UK at 16.
Yeah.
Well, when I was 16, I would have been scared to leave my house. Yeah. But you moved countries.
Yeah, but when I just 10 years old, I leave my hometown. I fly to the Guangzhou for my coach for training the snooker, for the snooker. I come to UK for the first season, yeah, when I was 16.
And do you like it here?
Yeah, really like it because the quiet city, small town. So I like that. Good for me. Good for snooker.
When you came to the UK, how many Chinese players were playing here?
When I first time come to here, I remember it's just 4. Now it's you see, this season 20 Chinese, so it's many. Maybe next season it's come more.
It's grown a lot.
Yeah, grown a lot.
Zhou, one thing which I think exemplifies the way Chinese play snooker in particular is this mantra here.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It's really good for me. It can tell me every day when I just want relax or want, okay, I stop today, or we practice 1 hour, or some just skip the band. I think, okay, today I'm not training. But I remember this language, okay, I tell myself, okay, I can't stop.
Do you enjoy training, or is it something, as it says, you just have to do?
Yeah, I have to do it because it's my choice. I choose the snooker. I have the dream, so I should be, for my dream, I gave the 100% for my life.
Zhou, at just 21 years old, you have the world at your feet. Thank you so much for your time, and we're very excited to see you in round 2.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your, yeah.
Oh, lovely getting to know a new face here at the Crucible, Zhou Yulong. Well, let's take a look at how things got underway this morning between Ali Carter and Zhou Yulong. We're going to take you into frame 1. Carter's at the table, no score.
Absolutely fantastic technique. Ali Carter delivers a cue beautifully. Every shot in the game. That first mistake, his first chance for Zhou. Quite confidently. Right in the middle of the pocket. It's always nice to get one of those in early. The reds are obviously spread, but the way they're situated, there's a big gap in the middle of the main bunch, and this, for that reason, a lot of the reds are blocking each other.
Got a very compact style.
8.
Very good cue action. That not a lot can go wrong with.
Nine.
Well, there's still 3 reds available to Zhou. And he's dropped nicely on this one to the right of the bunch there. He's playing into an area where he would have had a choice of reds.
I think his first match against Mark Allen, it was his composure above anything else that I was so impressed with when Mark Allen started to come back at him. He didn't look flustered at all, didn't panic, just kept the same game plan, played at the same pace, didn't start rushing or playing too slow. I could see you in one of those suits, Dennis. Really could.
Got one, Stephen.
You wearing that to the final?
What I like about Zhou Yulong, he likes to wander around the table and just weigh up the whole situation. He's pretty fluent, but he, as Stephen said, he doesn't rush things. He just gets himself clear in the mind and what he wants to do. This is not straightforward to get nicely onto his next red. Only that loose one, I think, that will be available. Oh, there must be one in the bunch. What has he spotted? You may be hampered slightly, but there is one just above the black that'll go, but now
26.
the blue's hampering him. That's the one. Had the white just been a couple of inches to the left, he could have potted this and run through for the black. This is much more difficult now. Oh.
$27.
That's not bad. He had to play that with power, and we're bridging over the blue made the shot much more difficult. He made a pretty good effort. Needs one more good shot to get back into prime position, and it's not going to be straightforward. Very good with the rest as well. He wouldn't be one of the taller players in the game. Similar height to Ian Woosnam. For many years was the longest hitter on the golf tour. That was the first mistake. He didn't finish ideal on that red. But nevertheless, not a bad start to knock 34 in there. Expected Ali to knock this in. It'll take him a little while to settle in. This is a test of your cue action. Oh, terrific. Terrific pot. Not only the pot, but one of my favorite shots there, the stun run through. I just love watching the players play that type of shot where you hit it hard and white doesn't travel very far.
Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Control. The cue ball was excellent. It's just got to play a little can on the two reds, just above to the right of the black. Thought he may have just raised the cue in the air a little bit and just made sure he got a fuller contact on those two reds. It would definitely been a lot nicer on the red to the left corner. I think the one he's closest to still goes.
Nine.
Played that well. Got very little to do with the cue ball. Be on that red to the left of the black. The 6 reds are next to the pink. I think there's one
just to the right of the 6. Will pot to either left corner or right middle.
Yeah,
it's too straight in the black to play any cannons. I mean, if you're level in the black, you'd play a cannon as if you're going to cannon the pinks. Just take the cube up in a straight line and you'd open everything up. Yeah, playing for that red that I mentioned. Just run a little bit too far. He's still on it. And he can play for pink to left middle from here. It's a little stun. This little shot will open everything up. Already 56 points ahead. This, you think, will be the shot that'll take him to the winning line in this first frame. Don't forget the pot.
23.
Very solid start this has been by Zhou Yulong.
29.
And there you see, he just needs a red and one more colour. Quick glance at the scoreboard. If he puts this red in the black, Ali Carter will require a snooker. So just the start he was looking for. This is how he started against Mark Allen. Keeps very still on the shot as well. Just about okay, I think.
37.
Keeps that head very still. Ali Carter, the only thing he's done wrong, he missed the red with the rest. That was the only shot he had.
$43. 44.
Well, sometimes with Zhou, his bridge hand's a long way from the actual cue ball. It's just how he plays. You can see there, quite a long way.
52.
Yeah, with Sean Murphy that was playing in this championship, his bridge hand's a lot closer than that, isn't it? Just shows you there's so many different ways of playing this game.
59.
I think at the end of the day, it's all about delivering the cue in a straight line, regardless of how you bridge up and how your stance is.
$67.
Look at, well, he ran out of position. There was a possibility of making a century break there, but what a start from the young Chinese player. Just what he wanted, and he leads Ali Carter by 1 frame to 0.
Brilliant start there from Zhou. So he did take frame 1, but Ali Carter responded in a 57-minute second frame to level the score at 2-2. They're in frame 3, and you can continue watching this one unfold online. Now, we're going to be heading back to table 1. The Hawk currently leads Kyron Wilson 4-0. He really has had such a solid start. Will we see a reaction from Kyron Wilson? Well, back to our commentary team, John Virgo and Alan McManus.
Thank you, Seema. Yes, the second half of this morning's session. Barry Hawkins in command and 4-0 in front. Just to mention, they will come back this evening for the middle session. And then barring a Barry Hawkins landslide win, they would finish tomorrow afternoon. Lots to think about, JV, for Kyron at the break.
Yes, absolutely. And he's left with one of these reds that he's been hitting at the ball for me. It's not been smooth. And there's another one digging in slightly. What can he do with this one? No, not getting near the jaws. Now where's this red running to? He's knocking a red towards the corner. One's nudged on to the cue ball. He's fortunate there. Of course, the thing is, there's 8 frames to be played in this session. Just to remind you, it's made up of 3 sessions, as Alan remarked, but 2 sessions of 8, and then the possible 9 to make up the 25. But Barry, with a 4-0 lead, cannot be behind at the end of this session. There's this one and 3 more frames to play. But he can build up a very useful lead. As we always say, you can't win it in the first session, but you can go a long way to losing it. So Kyron needs to find a way to create a chance. He's not had many. I'll go back to that first frame. I know it was the first frame and you've not really settled, but that could be the catalyst to this session anyway.
Do you want to go again? Yeah.
And both players have looked at one another. Didn't see much happening there, so it's a re-rack. So sat there, and I'm certain Kyron, I don't know whether he went on the practice table at the mid-session interval, but he'd have certainly been thinking about what was happening. And of course Barry Hawkins played absolutely superb, and of course that's the nature of this game, isn't it? And that's why it's a cruel game, because you've no right to reply when your other man's at the table.
Yeah, I know I'm biased, but for me this is the toughest sport there is. Yes, I'm biased, I admit that, but there's mental and physical battle going out there, and yeah, Barry Hawkins will just press on.
Barry Hawkins to break.
Never plays really quickly and never slows down. It's just constant pressure he puts on his opponent. So off we go then. The red comes up the table and there is a gap. So at best a half chance for Kyron.
Just looking at Kyron's face there, he got a wry smile. When he pots this, you feel as though he's possibly running into the cluster, but may just catch a glancing blow. But concentrate on the pot, let the cue ball finish where it does. Just trickled in. I thought he'd overcut it for a moment. Cutting it that thin, he avoided the collision on the main bunch. Bit close to the cushion for comfort. That's where he's thinking, well, if I leave the cue ball somewhere around about there, doesn't want to overhit this, as I say, being near the cushion. cued it nicely. But could never get the cue ball in a position where he wasn't having to play a mid-range red, and of course this one he'll have to play with the rest. A little grimace, so probably just the wrong side of straight.
Without putting the mockers on him here, for me, Kyron Wilson's the best in the business with the rest. Let's see how he handles this. This is a tough one. Back for blue or pink. Fantastic. He is outstanding. Rest.
4.
Yeah, and he delivered the cue beautifully there. Look at the action he got on it without hardly any effort. Now, the reason he didn't play for the black before, he thinks the black may get tied up, so it's imperative off this blue he gets on the red that's just above the black. Let's just freeze the black spot, and
9.
makes the black available into both corners comfortably.
That was 4 really good shots in a row there to get him in this position. He only actually potted 4 balls in the first 4 frames this morning. So a good chance here just to establish himself in the match and establish some confidence and his own self-belief.
18.
In contrast to Barry, he's quite busy around the table, Kyron. You see him there, quite a brisk pace, trying to, you know, little movements, trying to be active.
25.
That's part and parcel of being a player. You know, little movement, trying to G yourself up all the time. Trying to make yourself feel like you're confident almost. Screw off the pack. Yeah, nice. Very
26.
nice. Saying about the battle. This is why I think this game's the hardest there is. When 4-0 down, you've hardly taken part. Have to find a way to respond. And intervals, as we always say, do change matches, do change the dynamic. Probably a good time to have that interval.
32.
No doubt he would have gone in the practice room.
Nicely played. Perfect on the blue. To play for this loose red. And maybe thinking now about getting an angle on the black. Just coming around to have a look. Well, no, he's coming around to get his
38.
extension, but I think he'd be looking for a cannon. Needs another 30 points in this position, which, well, 4 reds, 4 blacks would do it. So he needs 4 or 5 reds. So you feel he'll be looking to play the cannon. Brendan Moore having a close look. Now, what sort of
39.
an angle has he got on this black? It doesn't look ideal at first glance. No. I wanted a bit more angle than this.
Quiet as possible, please.
Judged that well, though. play for this red to the far left corner, and of course
46.
in potting this, who make the red just to the left of it available. Building himself up for this one. Solid
47.
shot. Played it. Couldn't have played it better. Now, does he play for the loose red? Or does he try to nudge more reds into play? He's got a perfect angle on the black to do either.
Yeah, he has to play the split because he can't get low in that loose red. Ah, nice. This has been very positive on the resumption. Very
54.
impressive. We spoke about Barry Hawkins' record here. Kyron also loves playing here, let's not forget. Last 3 years, 2 quarterfinals and a semi-final appearance.
$55.
Yeah, it's a very good response and just what he needed, and it just shows you the break-off shot. Barry just had a red come back down the table. Kyron clipped it in. And it looks now, and we know how well Barry Hawkins is playing, that that's going to be his only shot in this frame.
62.
This red and the black needed. Well, decided to play
63.
for the pink. Felt there was no danger being on the pink. Pink's enough. So that's Snooker's required. There you see it, 69 ahead, 67 remaining.
69. 70.
And he'd love to make the century here just to show that Barry Hawkins, that he's in good form as well.
Yes, often it seems like one player can drag another along in the slipstream. Will that be the case then, as this session plays out? Let's look at the dominance of Barry before the interval. Kyron coming out.
77.
It's almost get the feeling trying to respond.
78.
It's a bit like following Mario Lanza in a karaoke competition. It's not an easy thing to produce your best, but this has been fabulous.
$85.
Mario Lanza, one of my favourites.
I knew you would be.
86.
Now, come on, Kyron. Give us a TC, a total clearance. Look at the work on the cue ball there. My goodness.
Slow down. Yeah, he's having a good
93.
look at the cushion. It was just that side spin he got on. Oh, maybe he can still get through to the red and pot it. Oh, he could. He could.
94.
It's pink for the century. It was the third one of the morning. Well played. That's his second century of the tournament. 53rd ton up.
100.
Well, the quirks of snooker. And rams that one in. Barry Hawkins would have come out after the interval thinking, right, keep it tight. Loose break-off shot. And that's the only one he's going to get. What a session this is so far.
106.
Yes, only the very best players stand out
108.
in this environment, and this has been outstanding. Brisk pace, it's just noticeable how he's tried to get himself, yeah, even with that shot, little exhibition shot, slow down, slow down.
111.
Well, he's on the brown.
No.
Asking Brendan Moore to clean the white. Well, what a response. Okay, and it doesn't matter about the cue ball going in. Well, it just shows you just one slip on the break-off, and that was enough. And Kyron Wilson will now feel he's in the match. Still 4-1 behind, though.
Well, he certainly will feel like he's in the match. That century break was absolutely brilliant, and it showed great character from him to come back and register that. Let's bring you up to speed with what's been going on table 2 as well, between Zhou Yulong and Ali Carter. Well, this is the 3rd frame, and Zhou registers a century break. You've been quite impressed with him, not only his suit, but with his play as well.
Yeah, his suit looks nice, but I tell you what, he's playing impeccably as well. Really good players, sort of coming to the fore. You know, he's been gradually moving up the rank and getting some great results, and he's one of a number of breed of Chinese players who are really getting some and playing superbly well. And this kid is really, really good. I like watching him play.
You can't underestimate him because he beat Mark Allen to get here as well.
Yeah, very impressive in that match. And I like the way he goes about his stuff. He's a nice, quiet lad and works hard, as we saw in the clip in the academy, as all the boys do up there. And yeah, he's a really nice kid and works hard, and he's getting his just rewards now as well.
Well, Kyron Wilson over on table 1's obviously got off the mark yet, which is really a good thing. And you said that the interval could come at the right time. It certainly
I think it did come at the right time for Kyron. Just to get it clear his head, he came in with his coach, Barry, hit a few balls. And it's amazing sometimes how the interval can sometimes change things. A great start. You got one chance. And we spoke about the break, and the lads in commentary spoke about the break-off, how important it is. You've got to get that cue ball safe, and you've got to get a red safe as well. One chance and a century break. This has been a fantastic session of snooker so far.
It really has. Back we go.
Yes, the break-off is important, and we see again they're not getting it tight to the baulk cushion. This bed of this table is super slick. Now, what's Barry got for us? Does he take this on? There's plenty of risk attached to it. If he plays it, you kind of hedge your bets just a tad and play for a low black. Just on the premise that if you miss it, you're leaving an awkward one for your opponent. Oh, what a shot that is. No thoughts at all, I don't think, of hedging his bets. What? That was all-out attack. Punch and counter-punch this is going, this match.
Just slightly nudging the other way to make room for the black. He's played it well.
Nine.
A little low on the black, so may just play a little cannon. Doesn't have to play it with a lot of pace, just play a drop cannon. Make certain you leave yourself on the next red. Well, he felt as though he could run through and hold, and he has done for the red to the left middle.
$16. $17.
Back on the black, and he's landed nicely on it. Run round off 2 cushion. Plenty of top spin required.
$24.
You see the top spin that got the cue ball going round and landed nicely on the black, and you can see there's a red available into this corner, and in potting that it will release the red to the opposite corner. No need to play any risky cannons just yet. Well, left himself low.
32.
That's not too bad. Well, he's playing the run through. I thought he may have played the screw back, but just got to judge the run off the second red. And he has done perfectly,
33.
as he's done most things this morning. And once again, this is all down to the break-off.
40.
Yep. 2 more frames after this. I'll keep a keen eye on the break-off shot. One apiece, obviously, for both players. I don't see Barry next time round bringing that rogue red up that Kyron clipped in the left middle. But for now,
41.
going about his business beautifully again. Will he be tempted to raid the orchard this time?
Well, he did look at the cluster, so I think the cannon is the shot he's playing. And what's he going to be on? The cue ball needs to slow up. He's okay. He's got a straight red to the right corner.
48.
A little bit of a tester, but it's straight enough. Solid.
49.
And of course he knows the importance of this frame. If he wins it, no matter what happens in the next, he'll have a 2-frame advantage at the end of this session. Just got that in the wrong side of the pocket, but he's okay. And that was because he played it with left-hand side.
56.
You see, it just went on the wide jaw, and that cue ball didn't come back straight, but the side has helped. And once again, we're all blacks. May decide to play another little cannon in the knowledge that if he just sits, not the one immediately above the black, but just the one to the right, he'll nudge them open. He's just looking at the line there. He'll nudge them open, and of course he'll think, no matter what happens, that's the red he wants to make a contact with. No matter what happens, he'll be on the red to the right middle worse way. Just a little bit too gentle. I think he may still have a red that's potable, but he won't be getting on the black.
64.
Just needed to play that a little bit firmer. I'm looking at again, I'll maybe favour it in the loose red first, more than catching that as far as he did.
Yeah, it was almost one of those where you maybe quite wise to even play the gap, because I don't think the gap was there, and just caress 1 or 2 reds open gently. There, see, I don't think the cue ball would get through there. Again, just caught that too full. So, well, attempted big shot now. He takes this on.
Yeah, beware the middle pocket with the cue ball, but don't miss the red. In it goes, and he avoided being off.
65.
And all set fair now for a frame-winning contribution.
These are tough little shots, these, if you're just going to dribble them dead weight. Yeah, handled well. He actually played it cleverly, but he just gave it an extra ounce of pace. Knowing that he's got this red to right centre. So, frame ball for 5-1. Whatever feelings Barry Hawkins brings to the crucible, you could bottle it and sell it for a few quid, I tell you that.
73.
For some reason, he just seems to excel when he comes here. He's now played
74.
17 frames this year in the championship, and he's won 15 of them.
It doesn't get much better than this. He lost the last frame because of the break-off.
80.
And fair play for Kyron. Winning the frame in one visit with a century, but
81.
roles reverse here. Making the game look very easy. And as we've seen from other
87.
matches, it's certainly not.
88.
So we're in for the 4th century of this session.
$95.
Highest break, still held by Judd Trump. A break of 141. It can't be bettered here. But it looks odds on the 4th century of the session.
96.
Pink offers him better position on the red. Wonderful. That's all you can say. It's just wonderful play. Faultless.
102. $103.
And it was funny when Kyron broke off and he knocked in the red. I looked at Kyron and he just sort of went, oh, you know, look, raised eyebrows thinking, am I going to get another shot? And his worst fears have been realised.
Yeah, it was a here we go again. It was one of those, wasn't it?
111.
The modern game, the break-off is so key.
114.
Since that stunning opening long red, this has been pretty as a picture, this break.
118.
Lost the cue ball just once, but recovered it with aplomb.
123. $129.
And he's going to brush in a 136 like shelling peas. Barry Hawkins flawless today.
And the frame.
A great response to Kyron getting back in the match, and he now leads 5-1.
Incredible play from Barry Hawkins. His 3rd century, a break of 136. That's pretty special.
The standard is so high, it's amazing. We saw in the last frame, we talked about the break-off, how important it is. I mean, years ago, you'd break off really casually, not really think, you know, you go back and wait for your next shot. Now, you've got to concentrate on your break-off so much because these lads, the long ball potting is so good that you've really got to hide this cue ball. Like, see where the cue ball is. Barry Hawkins get his hand on the table. That's the first mistake Corrin has made there. The second mistake is not getting the cue ball behind the green and leaving this red as well. And this is exactly what happens. If you don't get the cue ball on the ball cushion, player 9 times out of 10 will pot that ball. And that's the standard these days. So before, you used to, if you won the toss, you say, OK, I'll break off. Now, I don't think it's such an advantage, you know. But, of course, you have to really hide that cue ball and get it to the ball cushion. Make it as hard as possible for your opponent.
Certainly so. And Barry Hawkins in general, I've been reading a lot about him this week, and he's been sort of tagged as the nearly man because he got to so many finals and never managed to get over the line. Well, he got to the Shanghai Masters final, lost to Ronnie O'Sullivan this year. He got to the Welsh Open, Shanghai Masters, and the China Open the previous year.
Yeah.
But he's never managed to take it that step further. Does he look like he's in the form that could possibly change that?
Well, I
record?
tell you what, if he keeps up this form, he's going to be hard to stop. But there's so many great players, and every day is a different day, you know, and particularly in snooker. You can have one good session, you come out, and then the other guy could have a good session, so you can't really go on that. But if you keep putting yourself in positions and be as consistent as Barry Hawkins is, eventually, you know, you're going to get the W at the end of the week. But again, there's so many great players, and it's tough at the top, and that's what Barry Hawkins. Every time he's lost in a final, it's to a really, really good player. So, but he's putting himself in positions, and he's playing immaculate, sublime snooker at the moment.
Standards are certainly very high. Well, let's head back to frame 7.
Yes, frame 7 underway, and a better break off this time, as we suggested. That red on the left wing didn't come back up table this time. Barry would have been conscious of correcting that mistake from 2 frames ago.
Well, there's the stat. 100% long pot success for Barry. Just 38% for Kyron, and he's gone for a few. It's usually a big strength of his. Bit pacey with that, and flicking the yellow doesn't make it a very good safety. There are a couple of reds available to the right corner, but the problem is, it doesn't look as though the black's available. I think this is just a tentative look at this red. If he could drop it in and get on the black, he'd play it. But can he get to the black? Maybe he thinks he can. You must be oozing confidence at the moment, Barry, to even contemplate taking this red on. But that's what he's doing. Oh, well.
1.
Well, this is just remarkable stuff from Barry Hawkins. And I think he's just about on the black. You summed it up in the last frame, Alan. It's like shelling peas.
There's not a lot Kyron can do about this. Just has to flick this with a bit of side. Played it nicely. Yellow spot. Possibly. Brendan Moore. Just about spots, and
8.
that's another good result. I can play for pink or blue here.
Yeah, and that red, as you can see, just to the right of the black is available. Straight on the pink would be ideal.
9.
Or even just off straight, but there's plenty of loose reds to play for. And eventually you can get on that red just above the black, make the black available into both corners. And the way he's performed so far, you wouldn't put it past him to make a sizable break here. And Kyron Wilson will be sat in his seat thinking,
50.
what have I got to do? Okay, he didn't play the best of safety shots, but he'll be fearing the worst.
60.
Just a little bit loose with that positional shot, but he may just be able to drop the blue in, dead weight, and play for that red just above the black. He could, and played it nicely.
21. 22.
Just a touch more angle than he would like. He'd like to be able to screw back for the red that's just to the left of the main cluster, but it shouldn't cause a problem. Worst way, you can run it in off the side cushion for a red to the left middle. Well, played a little stun. Not ideal on this red, though.
29. 30.
We're going to have to leave things there, but you can continue watching both these matches online. Hazel is back at 2 o'clock on BBC Two. She's going to bring you the conclusion of both of the morning sessions of snooker, and there's a lot more live snooker to come. The second session of Judd Trump and Ding Junhui continues, and at the same time, Higgins and Bingham continues. That is currently at 4 frames apiece. Well, what a Sunday of snooker to look forward to. Thank you very much for your company. That's it from Ken and I. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.